Ivan rushed out of his bed. He could hear his heart thumping. He thought of running out of his room, but didn't know where he would reach. Suddenly, they heard a knock on the door. Aiden and Niam stood up from the floor and cleaned their robes, and meanwhile, Dylan opened it. It was Casper, holding a huge bag made of cloth. "It's your uniform." He placed it near the door. "Don't wait for the last minute. Get ready fast in 10th hour. Sharp," he said to everyone and turned to leave, but Ivan ran to him and held his hand. "I need to go back," he said, almost on the verge of tears, not because he missed Mrs. Merriweather, but because he knew how much she would miss him. "Why?" asked Casper with a puzzled look. "Mrs. Merriweather is old and weak. She would be worried if—" "No one would be. She might be having a long, sweet sleep there." Ivan looked at Casper, still confused. "Didn't you tell him?" He looked at Dylan. "No." Dylan shook his head. "Listen to me, Ivan." Casper looked into his eyes. "It's rather confusing, and I could say half of it to you, which can give you a vague idea," he sighed. "You've reached the kingdom of dreams, and you dream when you sleep, which means—" He looked at Ivan. "Which means I'm sleeping?" Casper nodded. "Is Mrs. Merriweather sleeping?" He nodded again. "Which means I'm awake now because I'm sleeping?" "You got it!" Casper jumped with excitement, but Ivan felt hollow. He recalled all the rubbish that he just spoke about. When Casper was about to leave, he caught his hand once again and asked, "Didn't you say that I'm asleep?" "You said it," beamed Casper. "Well, yes, I said it, but I'm awake, see? That's all about the other half." "Why don't you just say it?" he said helplessly. "You know what?" Casper looked at Ivan like he got fed up. "I'm ridiculous at explaining things. Someone good at it will definitely let you know, or else you may think that I've got nuts." He walked away, and Ivan decided not to follow him. When he came back to the room, expecting that someone else would tell him the rest of it, Aiden and Niam were back on the floor. Vivian said that he had no clue, and began counting the flowers in the garden. And Dylan said that he was just like his brother in this case, ridiculous at explaining things. But somewhere inside his heart, Ivan could feel that everything was going to be all right. They unwrapped the bag Casper brought. It had 5 uniforms, light blue with borders of pink, purple, and silver, leather belts with the same symbol on Casper's bracelet, and black boots. Long before the 10th hour, all of them started getting ready. Ivan could see the stars twinkling in the sky as he gazed out. And the water clock, the aqua blue liquid dripped down. A fragrance spread from the lean sticks placed near the window, and Ivan stood in front of the mirror while Vivian helped him tie the belt. When he was finished, Ivan looked at himself in the mirror. With long hair that almost touched his shoulders, and in rich, soft clothes, he looked like a warrior from Fatty Cathy's favorite anime. "Attention, please, trainees!" A voice boomed outside, and all 5 of them rushed to the door. "All of you are requested to assemble in the corridors. You'll be escorted to the grounds by the Snowfurs." The voice echoed everywhere, and he realized that it belonged to Lady Silverlands. Also, he noticed something else as well. The announcement came from the spheres of purple and blue lights. "It's the latest invention in Dandelion. Light and speaker, all in one," said Niam proudly. There was a rush in every room to tighten belts and to wear boots. "Why are we called trainees?" asked Ivan as they sat back on their beds. "Because we're getting trained here," answered Aiden. "Trained for what?" Dylan looked at him and spoke. "For war."